Hi, I'm Tracy and you're watching Point Blank, and I'm right here in the Australian bush of Rockhampton, and the vast area behind me is Shorewater Bay Military Training Area. And why are we here? It's because we are taking a special look at Exercise Wallaby. And Exercise Wallaby is one of a series of exercises the Singapore Armed Forces is conducting, and it's also being used to crystallize the SAF's push to becoming a third generation force. So what is being a 3G force all about? Let's take a look. Precision fires in the battlefield can help overcome potential enemies more decisively, accurately, and efficiently. That is one of the objectives for the SAF's push to become 3G. A key to successful precision strikes is having superior battlefield information, which is among the capabilities the military aims to hone. The SAF set out 3 areas of transformation to become 3G. To leverage on advanced networking, communication and sensor technology such as unmanned vehicles, to integrate operations between air, land and sea forces, to raise confidence, commitment and engage individual soldiers. Since 2004, this transformation has been taking place. The concept took flight as early as in 2005 when it was tested in an exercise in the United States called Exercise Forging Sabre. Cross-service integration of operations saw a milestone push when the Participation Command was launched in January this year. And in May this year, the idea of a web of sensors and shooters empowered by joint intelligence in the field was validated in Exercise Lightning Warrior in South Africa. That has meant that the military is now able to sense targets through hardware like radars, unmanned vehicles and other high-tech scouts, and convey that information in real time to field commanders. This significantly quickens the shooter's reaction time to hostile targets, and such battle speed is expected to eventually translate all the way down to the soldier in the field, who will be directly plugged into battle information with his advanced combat man gear. Exercise Wallaby aims to take the 3G push to the next level by getting the established sensor-shooter system to cope with more complex field maneuvers. The wargame scenario: a main SAF assault team tries to reclaim strategic enemy-acquired land. Sensors such as radars and unmanned vehicles gather intelligence on the battlefield situation. All the information is fed instantly to an air-land tactical control center. This center feeds real-time information to air and land commanders, allowing them to make quicker decisions for battlefield action, such as helping the main assault team with supporting artillery or air fire, or sending a force to block enemy reinforcements. This plane might be empty right now, but in a moment there'll be a whole group of M113 armoured vehicles as well as Leopard tanks. They'll be conducting what is called a block force mission. Their task is, after the main assault team has actually attacked enemy territory, their task is to actually prevent the enemy from sending more reinforcements, which could be other tanks, other soldiers and other vehicles, and in today's case they are a convoy of vehicles right over there. Leopard tanks and M113 armoured personnel carriers strategically position themselves so they can prevent enemy reinforcements from entering the battlefield. As they lay in wait, the main assault takes place miles away, and air assets like the F-16 and the Apache attack helicopters target enemy troops. This is followed by the main ground assault team. This causes a reaction behind enemy lines, and the enemy sends in reinforcements. When this happens, the tanks and armoured vehicles are ready and waiting for them. Apache helicopters helps to target the enemy reinforcements with a wave of fire. The armoured group then closes in for the kill and overruns the enemy.
First, airland integration is integral in what we call the force transformation of the third generation SAF. So it's about coupling forces together to have a better multiple effect. How you do it on the ground is not as easy as what we say, let's get together. It's about trying to figure out how do we really connect and where could that be and what systems need to talk, what information we need. So by putting together LTAC in the recent years and validating it here, we are clearer from the air and land picture that we both need to share and how synchronous it is or autonomous it is as it happens. And then we continue to validate using the operations in the exercise to see that capability is a capability for operations.
So with everyone in sync and plugged into the same picture, same combat picture, what will we achieve eventually, or what are we trying to achieve? Right.
In the conduct of warfare, it's complex. The desired effect requires the complexity of integrating these things for what we call that precision information that we want, and the precision maneuver, and in that sense, with the precision fire to support the mover. It is about mission success, it's about survival, and it's about delivering the effect that we say we need to minimize collateral damage and dangers to our own people. Before, if any elements detect, it depends on who's detecting the enemy. If it is a land guy and the effects we want from the air, just think of the processes it takes to just transfer the information, and vice versa. Now, the enemy is dynamic, he is mobile, and he also wants to kill and win. You tell me, how do we do it better? If we can get it seamless at the same time and understand what it means, not just getting it seamless. So precision information is not about just having it, but understanding collectively, and then knowing the assets collectively, who and when we want to do it. And that delivers that extra edge. It's about winning the war as effectively as possible and bringing our people in the best mode first, watch each other, and do that effectively to the enemy. Because why I say that is, airline operation is not about just destroying the forces. If we don't do it well, we're going to have air forces and the artillery forces hitting each other, and that's ugly. So this is it's not about just winning the war, it's about winning the war effectively. And this is important in the complex battle space of air and land together. That's why we go overseas. It is about that stretch that we want. And the stretch is achieved not just taking the exercise area as it is to creatively design an exercise scenario that can even add on a longer range if we need to, and by doing a scenario that, for example, just mirroring the terrain, we get a double land size and stretch the operation a bit further. So, for example, the current Shore Water Bay training area is a sort of a depth of about 50 kilometers. There's a need to stretch the exercise of both the air and the land. In the maps, we've mirrored the image by just turning it another land above to the north, and that allows them to maneuver. But on the ground, what we do is we turn around and go the other way around. So the guys on the ground, as far as they're concerned, as long as we name the objectives clearly, they then proceeded with a seamless exercise, now having an extended space over that extended duration that we want to put our NSF boys, our NSMan on the ground in this kind of weather with dirt, sand, lasting that duration, lasting that distance, and saying that yes, I can do it, and I can do it well, not only amongst the army, I can do it well because I've seen the air boys delivering that effect.
How critical is then the vastness in this sense?
Again, it comes back to how real we want to be in training. Needless to say, if I say war is complex, you need to validate that in the same complexity of the terrain. And this Wallaby, Shore Water Bay, gives us a very significant training space with the necessary elements within it for both air and land. In Exercise Wallaby 08, we also make use of an urban operations training facility within the area, and that is the complex environment we want to start training in. And we are starting to train for the land forces, and that complexity allows us to hone in our skills in that environment.
And for the Air Force, it's very important because the urban environment is something that it's an inevitable battle space that we need to train in. And coming over here to Australia provides us this opportunity to be able to weave in all the assets to be able to train together for developing urban ops tactics.
The guys were really talking, but we learn lessons together.
Yes,
so we're moving forward.
Integrated very well in all aspects of training between air and land forces.
Can you tell us a little bit about the enemy, the nature of the enemy that y'all are tackling, and why this kind of integration is actually a lot more accurate and precise?
My quick answer from the ground perspective is we are seeing at this level, and in complexity of even just terrain and put the enemy together, certainly having a new dimension, integrating with me, not just doing independent operations, is important to deliver the effect.
I think the modern enemy, we will not be just fighting a conventional war. The asymmetric aspect of warfare has to be dealt with, and I think that's where, again, air-land integration is very important to be able to develop tactics to effectively wage an asymmetric and conventional war.
Lunchtime now, and it's time for a break. But stay with us right here on Point Blank, because when we come back, there'll be more from Exercise Wallaby. See you later.